Today we're talking about the settings that I use on my Leica M8. Focusing on this camera again. In my last video, I had a lot of positive comments about the pictures, the images that I got from, in particular, the Leica M8, and people wanting to know my settings on the camera, how I set the camera up, my workflow once I get the files into Lightroom. So let's get into it. Let's have a look at this beautiful little camera, how I set it up, and my workflow with it. Once we've done that, we'll go through and we'll make a print or two, and we can have a look at the finished article. This camera, it simplifies the process of photography for me. So I'd like to just say first of all, there's no magic about this. Whether you're using this camera or any other camera, it's about getting good light, subject, composition. Those are the key elements for me in photography. The lens that I use mainly on this camera is the Carl Zeiss 28mm, and it's a beautiful lens. I have been using the old Cineron 50 that I've got on this camera a bit too, but for the last session I had with this camera at the mill, I exclusively used this 28mm in there. I want to make a confession. I'm supposed to be using an IR cut filter on this camera. Unfortunately, I very rarely do. The reason, to be honest with you, that I don't use a filter is because 9 times out of 10 when I'm going out, I always forget to put it on. After a while I found, after not using it, for me anyway, I couldn't see too much of a difference. I should start using that filter more, and I think I will, and hopefully I will see a difference in the images that I'm getting. Setting up this camera, again, it's just very, very basic. I'm just shooting raw files only. ISO, I am very, very rarely going above base ISO 160 on this camera. EV, I don't have any exposure compensation at all. I just shoot it at 0. My white balance is always set at auto. The compression, just DNG. I never shoot JPEG mode in this. Put my own stamp on them. I don't want to be playing around with JPEGs that have been manipulated by the camera. Sharpening and any saturation contrast isn't going to apply because I'm not shooting JPEGs. The other settings really are not having any reference to the images coming off this, so pretty much the camera's just set up in basic mode. I'm not doing anything special at all with it. One thing I will say, just recently I've been shooting this camera a lot on a tripod. Historically, I'm one of those guys that likes to, shoot with camera in hand. And I have noticed a marked difference with my images since I've been doing that. Takeaway tip for this video, I think, is that using this camera on a tripod, you're getting it absolutely 100% still. What I also do on top of that is use the timer mode. And so I've got the timer set to 2 seconds. The quality and the detail is just quite magnificent. Let's get into Lightroom and have a look at these images. I'll show you how I work them. Before I do that, however, if you'd like to support this channel, you can do so by buying my book, Incidents of Isolation, which is available from my website. I'll put a link up here for that. Incidents of Isolation is a mix of my film photography, digital photography. Very proud of it. Like I say, it's my brand new book. If you enjoy the content today, that's the best way to help me out. Let's get into Lightroom, check these pictures out, and I'll show you what I've done with them. First of all, if you didn't see last week's video, go and check it out. All of the pictures are on that video. I'll put a link below for it. So what we'll do, I think we'll just have a quick look at just a handful of these pictures. Just quickly look at what I did to some of them, and then what we'll do is we'll take one of the images, go back, strip it back to a raw file, and I'll show you how I would edit and what the sorts of things I'm going to be doing and how I think about it. Okay, so let's start off with a chair. I'll just do a reset on that so you can see. And that's the raw file. Actually, as you can see, it was quite underexposed, and I've actually had to bring that up quite a bit to get it to the stage here. I love this picture here of the stove. I think we'll get a print of that. I'll just quickly show you how that looked. That's the original raw file. Apart from the fact that it's not quite sitting balanced, I'd actually be more than happy just to produce, to present that as a raw file. It's actually quite cool. Done some cropping there, played around with the colors in there a little bit. I really like this shot here, and I'm kind of tempted to get a print of this as well. This is really, I just love this door here. And check this out. Just check the tones of that out. That's seriously impressive stuff. Seriously impressive stuff. Probably the best thing to do is to pick out one of these pictures, and I will take you through how I would edit it. We'll do this picture here because I think it's probably got quite a bit going on in it, And what I'll do for a start is make a visual copy of that. First thing we'll do is we'll level the image up. And what I usually do is use the leveling tool. And I think we'll just use the piano as a point of level. Next thing I'm kind of looking at is getting my white balance correct, getting my colors. So I just altered the white balance into the green area a bit more, and just to kind of balance that out a bit there. -11 is looking pretty good. It's just bringing out more of the orange tone there. Again, what happens, I might just get out of the blue area a bit there. Just that's balance I'm looking for. Exposure, let's see what we can do just off the bat with exposure. What's in the picture. See, the window there is quite blown out, so I want to kind of get rid of those highlights there. So what I'll probably do here is I'll actually just put a mask over that window to just concentrate on getting that area and the exposure onto that, because quite interesting the amount of detail, if you look there, I've actually still got in that area. And this is what kind of blows me away with this camera a wee bit. It is, the dynamic range on it seems to be pretty good. So we won't overdo it, we'll just bring it back down to a bit more normal there. While I've got the mask on there, again, I think the window's important. I think the detail around that window is quite important. So we'll just increase the clarity there. I just like to get some, some crunch going on there. Just maybe drop that. I don't want it to be too much. I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with the way it looks. Again, rather than doing a global type adjustment, I just want to level it out a bit. Some of these shadow areas, bring those up a little bit before I start playing with the overall exposure. I think the foreground here, if I can just put a lineal gradient on the foreground there, just to bring up that area a little bit, just so that when I bring it's just not going to be out of kilter with everything else. Not too much, because I think part of the appeal of this is that dark, dingy feel. Yeah, that moody, dark, dingy feel. So just increasing that a little bit, just bring that up. So it's a bit 21, maybe the exposure a little bit as well. A bit around about there. And I'm pretty happy with that. What I think I'll do now is go to my global settings on the image and just bring those highlights down globally. Just there, I think maybe the whites a little bit. I'll just get the whites down a little bit too. And it's kind of looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Because the piano is the centerpiece of the image, I think I want to focus on that, and I want to bring that up a little bit. So again, I'm going to go back. I'm going to use a radial mask, and I probably just want to center it around there. And let's just increase the exposure a bit there. Bring the shadows up a little bit, and I'm going to again, some clarity, just a little bit, just to get some crunch going on there, because it's going to draw your eye into that. The other area I want to bring up a little bit is the underneath of the piano, and I've got to be careful there because it is quite dark there. If I bring that up too much, we're going to get a fair bit of noise. Again, I'm going to create another radial. And just, I think it's important with pictures that you focus on, little points in the image that where the eye is taken to, and it kind of acts as just tweaking little parts of the image where the eye can kind of investigate what's going on in the picture, just so you've just got a bit of detail showing there. Again, I'm looking at other areas of the image where I just want my eye to go to, and I just like, if you were in a dark room, for instance, just like dodging and burning different parts of it. I just kind of like the idea of doing something with this door here as an example. So like the handle, I don't know, maybe if we just increase the shadows, you just get that, and again, hit it with some crunch, with some clarity, just makes it interesting. Tempted to do something in the corner here with this fireplace, maybe. I don't know if that, again, I don't want to go overboard with this stuff. I don't want to kind of do all sorts of crazy stuff, but just like little areas of just I don't know, maybe there, just increase just a bit of extra pop there, increase the shadows there, hit it with a little bit of crunch with the clarity. That's how I use clarity a lot. Just use it in little tiny, bits and pieces. Often I see, people smashing the whole the whole image with clarity, and you go, oh, you know, it's just too much. Subtlety is really, really important. I still think that this area here over the piano is a little bit overexposed, so we're going to just put, I think, our last mask on there, and I just want to just bring that down a little bit, the highlights down there. I just want to just drop that down a little bit, just put down in this area. It's just looking a little bit out of kilter with the rest of the image. Again, I'll just do another lineal gradient on the top of the image here, just to maybe because I love this big, you know, this big tear in the wallpaper there, you know. And I think if we bring that out, bring it down over here of this window, and just now, where are we? Just a little bit there. Bring it up, make it pop a little bit of clarity in there again, just a little bit. There we are, just a little bit. To me, that's looking pretty good. What I'd probably just do here now is just maybe just tweak my overall exposure up in there. So just bring that up a bit now. Just again drop those highlights down a little bit. Just tweaking it now. Just tweaking it. Saturation, I can play with saturation if I want to. You know, there's all sorts of stuff you can do. There's looks, and you know, like for instance, if I just desaturate that, look at what that does to the image. Just desaturating it. It's just, I mean, I like that. I think it's pretty cool. May just bring down those magentas a little bit more. See how it's, you know, if I bring them to the greens, look at that now. Look how it's changing now. And again, maybe if I had that filter on there, I probably wouldn't get that. You know, the tones might be a bit cleaner. But I'm actually quite happy with that. I think it's pretty cool. And what I'll just do to finish off here, sharpening. I'll just put a sharpening mask on there, and I just want to get those edges nice and sharp. We'll zoom into 100, and we'll just look at this, eh? I mean, it's just beautiful. It's really cool. Let's put a bit of noise reduction on there. I'll just smooth it out a bit. So that in a nutshell is kind of how I go about the whole process of editing it. You can see, I mean, again, it's not really M8 specific. I'd probably do the same with any other camera I was using, but it just goes to show you that's how I kind of approach things. And if I wasn't doing this on camera, I'd probably spend a lot more time doing it and, you know, playing around with the colors and stuff. So that's in a nutshell is how I approach most of my images. But again, these are probably the pics. Super camera, and what more can I say? So I think we'll get a couple of prints made. We'll do some prints. I'll send a couple of pictures over to the printer, and we can see the final results. Prints are done. I'll just show you these prints because they're just absolutely beautiful. Hang on a sec. There we go. Look at that. That's the print of the piano, and it's just beautiful. This is the second lot of prints I've done off that session, and these are just as beautiful as the first set. Printed these out on premium luster, Epson premium luster paper. We'll get the shot of the stove, which is just incredible also. There we go. Oh, check this out. I mean, look at that. Just amazing. I mean, I don't know if you can see the detail in there, but it's just beautiful. Both of those prints are amazing. Just incredible. I'll put both those prints up for sale on my website. There's one copy of each of them. I'll put a link below for those. If you want to go and purchase one of those prints, check out that link below and support the channel. I'd appreciate it. But they're both beautiful prints that would look incredible hung on somebody's wall. I mean, both sort of, you know, if you're into New Zealand, iconic New Zealand, and, you know, old style New Zealand, those are just awesome. They're just incredible. That's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope the people that had the questions from the previous episode, I hope I've answered those on my settings and my workflow with the Leica M8. I really enjoyed putting that one together. Like I said before, if you want to buy those prints, link below for that, one each of those. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, you can buy my book, like I said before, Incidents of Isolation, available up here, link up there for that. That's it for this episode. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to check out more of my content on the Leica M8, go and check out this video here. I'm sure you'll enjoy that, and I can highly recommend it. I have to go now. I'll see you again soon. Haere rā from New Zealand. Goodbye. Take care.